Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you had a nice weekend. Right now, I did get in a little trade just with one contract just to test it out in the pre-market. I kind of just entered in the choppy area, so it's not working out, but I'm going to see if it can just reverse right there and possibly just go back up. If not, it's just one contract. We just got filled. That's okay. Not really a big deal. We'll end up catching a bigger move, but pretty much the overnight session was really good, right? We take a look at the charts for the overnight session. We were just ripping to the upside, right? We're just pushing. And lately the overnights where these movements have been happening. So that's something to watch out for, because that means like in the mornings, there usually will be a little sell-off before we continue to the upside. But something we always have to keep in mind is that first, on Friday, we crossed our all-time highs. That's a big deal. Now we're pushing beyond our all-time highs. Another big deal. Then we have still COVID cases are still going on. So a good amount of people are still catching it. So that's still bad. But then the GDP and the whole market as a whole, right? They've crossed. Like, essentially the US dollar GDP is under the whole entire market as a whole. I'm not just talking about the ES S&P 500. I'm talking about everything including the market. And whenever that happens, that's when we see those big pushes to the downside, those big sell-offs. And that's exactly what happened back in March when we had our coronavirus sell-off. That wasn't only just because of coronavirus. That was also because we were overextended and we were crossing lines that we were not supposed to cross. So we have 5 minutes till market open, and right now we're just doing that pre-market open tiny sell-off. Not too much. Overall, we might see a little dip at the market open, I'm assuming, considering we just made pretty big moves. So people will be trying to take their profits, especially the pre-market traders that got into all the tech stocks. They will want to liquidate so that they can lock in their profits, and we see that happen time and time again. So that's something to pay attention to. But overall, the market's still bullish. But again, with all the market conditions, we should be watching out for a nice dip. And something to pay attention to is the second round of stimulus. If that gets completely passed and everything's approved, then we can see the market continue to push. But without another stimulus, we can see the market come down. Because you have to understand the stock market and the economy aren't essentially linked. They don't represent each other, even though they do in certain ways. But looking at the stock market does not mean like the economy's well. Just because the stock market's up does not mean the economy's well. Because right now, the whole market is being pushed because of the tech stocks performance. Like Apple this year went in 1 year, right? It went from 1 trillion to 2 trillion in valuation. So a lot of companies don't even get to $1 billion or ever trillions. Like very few, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. But so they're just like making up for everybody else that's suffering, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's what's happening. And just as a heads up for everybody, I won't be staying on the stream for too long today. I have to leave by 10:30 because I do have to take my dad to the doctors. So that's something I have to do. You know, family first always. And so hopefully we can catch a good move in the 1 hour that we have. But we have to be patient. I'm not going to try to force anything. I'm just going to wait for a move to come. Hopefully we can try to see if we can get a nice algo alert going, because overnight the algo alert was killing it. Just one after the other. Perfect movements. For example, right, the algo alert came at 1 o'clock and it's just been rising ever since. Continuously going, breaking through our key levels. It hit our key level, had some resistance, broke down, hit our key level again here, pulled back down a little bit, then continued to go up. Now it's just a matter of waiting and seeing what's going to happen. We have 40 seconds left. I'm going to get prepared right now. Let's see if we can catch anything. Market is open. Okay, let's see. Right now I'm focusing on tick charts just to see if we can get some quick movement. Again, tick charts, I'm always just going for 1 point, quick scalps, that's it. Again, I'm really not liking these market opens where they're just like forming their doji candles, like as you can see. Buyers and sellers are both strong. It's very hard to read. If we can get to 34.1950, and I'm just gonna go for a quick point right there. Again, in tick charts, we have a triple bottom right there if we can finish this candle, but I'm looking forward to just break through, quick 1 point, quick scalp play.
Stop filled.
Got filled right there. We should be out of this trade in the next minute or less than that.
Order filled.
There you go. Not even 30 seconds. The first 1 hour with the tick charts, you can easily quick scalps like all the time. Just a matter of being patient and waiting. Just noticing the formations like double tops, double bottoms, triple tops, triple bottoms. Whenever they break out, it'll make a nice 1 point push. It can easily go for more, but if you're trying to go for quick plays, then just go for that 1 point. Right now, 5-minute candle on the right here, selling off. Okay, now we're hitting some resistance at our key level at 34.18. If we can break below the 34.18 and hold it, then I would be looking to have a nice 6-point move all the way down till 34.12. Again, these are our key levels for today. First one's at 34.18, 34.1250, 3400, and obviously we're always going to watch the 200 EMA. We can see how it's hitting that resistance, bounced right off of it right there. If there's going to be some good selling pressure, we can easily go down till 34.12. Tick charts are getting weaker, that's why I didn't want to get in. Maybe if we can pull back up and then come down, then that's something I'll consider, but Again, something we have to keep in mind is that we might still be bullish today because we might just continue that overnight trend. We're just doing a little morning sell-off for people to take their profits. But this can easily just be a nice pullback, right? Just look at the setup on how it's forming. Like, this is just a tick charts, but even in the 5-minute candles, like, we can see that for the overall move, this can easily just be a nice pullback. It could possibly just go right down to a VWAP right there and then bounce back, or if not, we can just bounce right here because we are hitting that key level of 34.18. Right now, I'm just trying to see if we can break through this double top area. Potentially triple top, right?
Stop filled.
Broke through. Let's see if we can get that buyer push. Do have some orders piling up at 34.20. Again, round numbers. People love them. People use them as a resistance point. Still don't know why, but it's like a psychological thing. But I think we can still push through.
Order filled.
There you go. Again, we got filled right there. Just quick moves on the tick chart, right? And then after this candle closes, we might look, if it's still in this range, then we might look for a breakout play of the first 15 minutes. And this is why we go for those 1 points, guys. So on the tick charts, it's much safer to go for those 1 points because you're in and out, you're done. These like tick charts, you can easily reverse out of nowhere. That's why your stop is always at the bottom of your first candle, and you can like slowly trail it. But most of the time, you don't even have time to trail it because it'll just fill. We could have had a potential entry there, but again, like I said last week, when we're trading the tick charts, if it forms high wicks on both sides, then we don't get in. I'm gonna cancel this order, follow our rules. And if you guys got some profits today, drop them in the chat. I'd love to hear. That's why we're here, right? Make sure that we're all making profits. Again, we could potentially go for our morning breakout play if we can break above 34.21.75. But the one thing I am waiting for is potentially an algo alert might come soon. So I'm waiting for that to confirm my entries. Because I don't want to just get caught up thinking it's a breakout play, then it just reverses on me, because that happens in the first 15 minutes, right? You can either pump up and then take a full reversal right afterwards. And right now we are in the high volume areas, so that's why we're seeing price jump back and forth. So that's something to be aware of. But if we can break through to either side, we'll have a good move. This could be a potential entry candle to go short. Let's see if we can finish it first. My only concern right now is the wicks of the previous candles as well. Price has been struggling around this area. We do know it's a high volume area. It broke out to the double bottom right there. Okay. Don't like the formation. Canceling. And it's most likely not going to go below this in this candle. So it's not even worth our time. I'm glad you like it, Tom G. That's what I'm here for. Again, guys, so something we have to like constantly keep in our mind when we're trading is that looking out for volume, right? The gray bars here are the volume nodes, and essentially they tell us where the highest volume was traded at what price. Today, the highest volume node was at 34.20. That's where we'll see a good amount of resistance, where price gets choppy a little bit, and we're in that range right there. We see all the high volume nodes. That's why we see the most buyers and sellers stepping in, because they're trying to decide, can we push it higher or should we just sell it off? So it's something to be careful about. And again, we are just bouncing off of that resistance level, the key level that I said before, 34.18. I'll pull up that chart again. I just like having my levels and my algo on another screen just because it's simpler for me. Obviously, I can't stream like 3 or 4 screens that I have. That'd be pretty nice, but I feel like that would just be confusing. But overall, right, we're looking right here. This is a key level, 33.18. Open, it bounced right off of it. Second candle, second 5-minute candle, bounced right off of it. Now we might honestly, this might be our reversal area, right? This might have just been our pullback, but we're just waiting for some confirmation to see if buyers can step in. Because if the sellers are strong, they'll break through this completely, and then we have the potential to go all the way down till 34.1250. That's our other key level. So that's just something to watch out for. Right now, we just broke through that 34.18. Make a nice big push. Again, this would have been our like little breakout play for the morning, right? If it broke through the morning 15 candles, like highs and lows. Sorry, not 15 candles. I mean like the first 15 minutes. I don't want to confuse anybody there. But again, if you put your order in at 17, you could have taken it out again at one point if you wanted to immediately. I think this made a 2-point move real quick. And if you look on the tick charts, it broke right through the triple bottoms. And when they break through the triple bottoms like that, they'll immediately push for that 1 point. If you're scalping. Again, our key level was 34.1250. We're gonna see if it can go down there. Obviously, I wasn't playing the levels today because I still felt like today could have been bullish. But we might honestly just do the VWAP test right there. And it's nice that our VWAP and our key levels are lining up right around the same area. My level is at 34.1250. The VWAP right now is at 34.1330. So Tom G, I am a funded account, but I did use the pro account when I first passed the combine. But then after that, obviously you go straight to the funded account after you do the pro account. But I mark up my levels like overnight in the mornings sometimes, but I think what I'm gonna start doing is essentially like just giving you guys a screenshot, possibly in just the Discord channel. That way you guys can draw them out for yourself on your charts if you want to use them. Like if that's something people want, I have no problem sharing my screenshot and making it only takes like 1 second, right? And I do use the daily charts, and then I use the weekly charts as well to identify key levels. Not so much the monthly charts, just because we never really reach those levels and just a waste of time at that point, but it's very rare that we hit the monthly levels quite often. The daily and the weeklies are probably the most important ones to me, especially when you're scalping. That way you can just find those quick bounce areas. So this candle can remain strong. I have no problem putting my order in like 1 tick higher. That is a weak candle. Not liking the way that looks.
Stop filled.
We got filled. Let's see if it can push. If not, we're gonna have a tight stop on this. Ooh, those are some weak candles. That's worrying. See if we can get some support going. We're getting some support. Okay. Let's get that push. Come on, 2 more ticks.
Order filled.
Got another 1 point right there. Yeah, then yeah, I can definitely just post levels on the Discord every morning. I have no problem doing that. So I'll start doing that from today onwards. Let's see. What is the time frame on the right side? Alright, the right side is 5 minutes. I don't know if it, yeah, so if you ever want to see the time frame, it'll be right here. I don't know how visible that is on your charts, but this right side, I trade the 5-minute charts for these candles, and then this is the 2000 tick charts. This is more for bigger moves. Tick charts is always for 1 point and 1 point only, because I like to be in and out. Is what was this trade? I got in around 957.50, so what, 950, around 956.50. I was out by, okay, like 3 minutes for this one. Normally it's like a lot shorter than that, but sometimes you gotta just wait, right? Again, this could have been another entry candle, but the only reason I wasn't looking for it was one, the wick candle before it, and two, we also have the VWAP right there, so we're most likely going to have that bounce, and that's exactly what happened. So for the ticks, I only use it for the first 1 hour of the day, just because there's a lot of volume and you can get clear movements. But normally I'm always trading the 5-minute charts just because I can find good moves. Nice, because you'll have these little pullbacks and then you can get in, you can enter. But overall, my main chart is the 5-minute chart. That's what I'm always looking at. Tick charts, I only look at the first hour because there's a lot of movement. And you can catch these big, like, quick plays, right? That's how you can just grow your account steadily. And you can have tight stops on these so that you're not losing too much. But for the 5-minute charts, I will have like a bigger stop loss. It's always measured through my algo, and then I'll just have to wait it out. And like I said, for the key levels, they broke through that 34.18, drops right down till 34.1250. And then what happened? We bounced right off of it completely. We hit it, as you guys can see, the low, the candle 34.1250, and then we bounced right back up. So right now in the tick charts, at least, right, we're just making that clear downtrend. 5-minute charts, clear downtrend. So I'm not too keen on getting in on scalp plays to the upside. Maybe to the downside I'll be more lenient towards, but to the upside I don't see it unless we can get a nice big breakout and then we can continue that. But until then, I'll just have to sit and wait. We have some profits for the day, we can chill. Don't try to force any trades. Yeah, I do use the Heikin-Ashi because I like to make sure like the trend is confirmed. But then I'll switch back and forth between the regular charts and the Heikin-Ashi depending on like the market. When things are a bit slower and steady, I'll prefer the Heikin-Ashi, but then if they're like faster, I like to use the price action to see what's going on with the candles, to see, figure out my entries. Right now we could clearly see a nice bounce off area right here between the VWAP as well as our key level. And sorry if I don't respond to your comments immediately, because obviously I have to focus on the chart too at the same time. But I will always get to every comment that you guys say, and I'll answer your questions. No doubt about that. Just might take a little, have a little lag there. Because our main goal is to trade. And I only had 1 hour to trade today till 10:30 because I have to go drop off my dad at the doctor's. But I'm happy that we were able to catch some moves real quick. Now I'm only gonna get in if I see something I love. If not, not worth the risk. Yeah, Tom G, trading is the first priority right now. And again, for like I said before, the tick charts, I'm not looking to get long based on any of these candles, because we're in the short-term basis, we are in a small downtrend. We might break through, and I might miss that one, but that's okay, because then I'll be able to catch the next one, because like it'll have a nice pullback, then I can enter. That's what we like to do. But other than that, no forcing trades. We are done with that. I used to do that when I first started trading. Oh my god. Just because, like, when you first start trading, trading's like super fun. It still is fun. Like, but I'm just saying, like, it really gets to you. You're like, okay, I really want to make a trade. But then after a while, you realize, hey, the less trades you make, the better you probably will be, because like you're making the smart trades. You're not just making a trade to make a trade, but you're making a trade because it meets all your criterias, your requirements, and that's when you start finding your success and you start building your account. Because in the beginning, man, like I was always just, I wanted to be in the trade. I want to be active. I was like, oh yeah, like, and then I realized, like, you don't need to make like 25 trades a day to make money. You can easily just make 1 or 2 or 3 and you can be done for the day. And again, just to show the levels again to see how the market's performing overall. Nice big bull run overnight, but now we bounced off the first key level, and then again, since we broke through it, this becomes a point of resistance. So we're gonna have to wait and see if it acts as resistance or if we can just break through it, because we were able to break through it overnight because we hit it once, pull back just a little bit and continued. But you know, the second time we'll have to see. It can normally on the second times and third times, that's when you'll see it just break through completely, but something to be cautious about. Because overnight, you know, the volume's a lot lower, but morning session, high volume, we might easily just see another reversal downwards, or we could see buyers finally stepping in after this nice little sell-off from the overnight, use it as a nice pullback area, and then just rally it up. So I do like to use the 5-minute charts for the trend directions and my tick charts for the entries, but it's not all the time, right? I'll use my 5-minute charts to determine my entry points as well, because I go based on the price. But for the tick charts, it's mainly just a scalp in the mornings for that first 1 hour, because like there's such high volume and nice movements, you can catch those 1 point moves immediately. That's why I use the tick charts, but I don't use my tick charts as my entry point based on my 5-minute charts. But sometimes the 5-minute charts do help me just understand the trend and understanding, because you want to be with the trend. You don't want to fight the trend, always be with the trend. And Harry, is it true the weekly loss limit is removed in your funded account? No, the weekly loss, the daily loss is always there. It's just the way they secure their money. Thankfully, I haven't hit it while I was funded, so unless they change the rules, I don't know, but that's something I don't want to test. But the whole point of their rules is so that you're always not risking too much, right? You're only risking so much of that account value that you have another day to come back and trade. That's the whole point why they do those strict daily loss limits and weekly loss limits, just so that you can control your capital and understand the risk management aspect of not just in your trades, but account management as well. Make a nice push up right now. This is breaking that mini downtrend that we were having, right? Bounced off of our key level right here at 34.1250. It's bouncing off of the VWAP perfectly. Now it's just hitting that high volume node, but if we can break through the high volume node, I think it can easily push up back to our overnight highs of 24 and possibly higher. That's a nice big push. And like I said, if you can break that 34.20, you can see it easily go up to the 34.24s. That's exactly what it's doing right now. So right now, if it can break above 34.2350, that's when we can see it go all the way up till 34.30 today. So we do have that potential. But we might need to have a tiny pullback before we can have that big push up. Again, these are all all-time highs, right? So my prediction right now is if it can break through this line, right, 34.2350, we can see it go up till 34.30. So a nice 6-point move. But we might be hitting some seller resistance right now because that is our daily high point that we're trying to break through. But that's also our measured move, so we're just gonna have to see what happens. But obviously I can't get into this trade because I do have to leave in a couple minutes, and I don't want to be stuck in a trade that I can't watch. Some nice little seller pile up right there at 34.23. Let's see if I can just write text. What the hell? Again, that's only if we can break the 34.2350. Again, the one thing we have to be careful of is that these are all-time highs. So we can either get a big push or we can get a nice reversal. So that's always something to be mindful of when you're playing with all-time highs. When you're not playing with all-time highs, that's when you can just get the pullback, just wait it out, because you know that price isn't any type of psychological level or market level where nothing's been tested, right? Like with like all-time highs, that's the issue with all-time highs. People don't know how far they want to push it. The dome, I don't really use it that much. I kind of just use it to place like order entries sometimes, but the only time I use it is to understand how many orders are piling up, to see if there's any type of area where there's a lot of sellers or a lot of buyers piling up, to see if I'm in the right trend or if it's going to reverse at that certain point and I might just cancel my order. Because on certain days you'll find the dome telling you like, hey, there's like 1,500 orders piled up at like 34.26, and that's when I'm like, okay, that's a lot of orders that are piled up, and that's something I have to be careful of, because nobody normally, for the dome, people don't let the orders just sit there for that long. And that's what happened last week too. We had orders around, I forgot what price, but there's like 1,500 orders sitting at one price, and then it acted as a key resistance point because we couldn't break through that. Because with the dome, you have to understand, it shows you the contracts that are in place at that moment, and like the couple minutes next to it, and the people that are okay with leaving their orders up there. But then most of the contracts that are being traded, people are trading just doing market orders, or they're just waiting for the price to hit and then they'll enter their order. So that's why you can't rely on the dome heavily ever, but the only thing you can use it for is a reference point to see, are there orders piling up at a certain price and should I be watching out for that? And it makes entries and exits pretty easy because you can just click here, you're done. And that's my analysis for today, guys. If we can break through that level, it's not a, this is not a level, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But 34.2350, if we can break through that, we can see a nice push up till 34.30. But if we're not gonna do that in the next like 10 minutes, I don't see it pushing all the way. Might later on in the day, but I probably won't be able to catch it. But I do have to get going, guys. I said I do have to go to the doctors and everything. So I wish you guys the best with your trading. Hope you guys bring in some profits today. But until then, peace out. I will see you guys tomorrow.